Smart Bear product. It's been out on the market for a while. Also, it's not free. There's a license fee, but it supports web application, Windows application, and mobile application. So quite a few companies actually using Test Complete in New Zealand. I'm going to talk more about Selenium later on. Selenium is really popular right now because it's free. It supports a lot of languages: C#, Java, Ruby, and everything. Python supports a lot of web browsers as well. Chrome, Firefox, even Safari, Opera. So it's really good tool. So I'm going to show you how to use it later on. Coded UI, so that's Microsoft product. So if you install licensed Visual Studio IDE, it's like an ultimate version, edition. You can use Coded UI to automate some of the applications. So a lot of Microsoft-based companies actually using Coded UI, a lot in US and Australia. Quite a few companies in New Zealand as well. So I'm going to introduce you about Selenium IDE. So there are two types of Selenium. So Selenium IDE and Selenium WebDriver. So what's the difference? So Selenium IDE is just the Firefox plugin. It's very easy to use. It's good for beginners. You can just download it right now and play with it. So it allows you to record and play. There is no programming, scripting, or it's not really complicated to use. Also, you can export it to C# or Java or any other language so that you can actually run it in the Selenium WebDriver at the end. So there are pros and cons. The pros is already talked about it before. No programming experience is required. You can export tests to different formats. It's got also built-in help section, also produces a result at the end as well. And cons does not test anything unless checkpoints added. So which means that you have to add assertion when you really need to do it. So when you do record and play, we just record whole thing, but it doesn't check anything. So you have to make sure you check titles or some text in the web browser, or make sure the checkbox is there, and you need to check. You need to add those. It's hard to maintain. So one of the problems the Navman Waters was that their website was keep changing, and we developed test automation using Selenium IDE. It was very fragile. Keep breaking it. So it took a lot of time to for maintenance as well. So I'm going to show you a Selenium demo, IDE demo. So if you have Firefox, you can install Selenium IDE from the add-ons. So you can type Selenium IDE, and you can install the plugins. And you will see a small icon on the top right-hand corner. And if you click that, it will launch a separate window, which is like this. So I played with that last time. So what I'm going to do is, Georgia already found the bug in the AUT website. There's a bug, the contact us page. So I'm going to recode this, and then I'm going to automate this. Yep. All right. So what I'm going to do is create new test case. On title 2. So I'm going to click this record button, and then it will start to record. So from here, oops. So I'm going to to AUT website and then click community. At AUT. And as soon as you click something, you can see the recording right here. And go to contact us. And then you want to check the title of this page. So it should be contact us, but saying the page is not found, so that's not correct. So I'm going to add assertion. So what you do is you right click, and then there's some of the command that you can use. So you can assert titles, and then edit the command at the end. So it's supposed to be, so at the expected value is contact. Right. So you finish recording. Very easy, right? So what I'm going to do is open new browser. Close that one. And then I will replay. So you just click that play button. Alright, so check the title of the web page, and then it says it's failed. So you can actually check log. You can go there, and then it says actual value is page not found, but should be contact us. So expected value is contact us, but the actual value is the same, page is not found. So this is how you create the test cases using Selenium IDE. Okay. So I'm going to talk about Selenium WebDriver. Now here's a question. Do you know why it's called Selenium? Nobody knows about Selenium. Does anybody know why it's called Selenium? Why test automations use element name SE? The reason is that when they first developed many years ago, so it's open source. In the open source community, they had a project to develop test automation. But the competitor was called Mercury Interactive. Now it's bought by HP. So HP, all their HP product was based on the Mercury product. So one of the team members in the Selenium open source team, one of the team members said, "Hey, the Selenium is antidote of Mercury." So Mercury is a competitor, so let's name Selenium. So that's why they named it Selenium. Okay. All right, so it's open source, it's free, it supports a wide range of browsers. So it supports Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Opera, Android, Safari. And it can be programmed with Java, C#, Python, Ruby, Perl, or PHP, or other support a lot of languages as well. So what kind of language do you have to use? There's so many out there, but do we actually have to use Java or C#, or how do we know? Can anybody answer this question? Because I only know Java, so I'll just write in Java. So a lot of people actually ask this question in the forum, testing forums, and the answer is there's no right and wrong answer. But the answer is you write the same language as the developers actually use. So if developers actually using Java to write their applications, it's preferable to use Java for test automation. The reason is that so the testers actually, test automation engineer can understand how the application is written, how the application actually works. Also, developers can understand the test automation.
But if you only know C#, right, it's fine. It doesn't matter what kind of language you use. If you know only C#, you can write in C#. So there's no restriction. So lastly, WebDriver is being proposed as a testing framework for the W3C web testing interest group. So it means that in the open source community, what they're trying to do is they're trying to standardize WebDriver. So at the moment, the WebDriver is a bit fragile at the moment. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if you standardize it, then it will support other browsers, and then they have to follow the W3C standard. So that means that the WebDriver will work with the other browsers much better. It will be more reliable in the future. So here are pros and cons for the WebDriver. So it's open source, it's free. So that's why a lot of people are actually using it because it's free. You can use it right now. So if like a money place, if it's a startup, if they want to reduce the cost, if they really don't want to spend a lot of money on tools, that might be a good candidate. And highly extensible. It works with the different browsers and it supports various operating systems. So it supports Unix, Linux, OS X, and Windows, all other different operating systems. Support mobile devices as well. You can execute in parallel, so which means that you can run same task simultaneously. So that means that if you run it 2 tasks in parallel, that means that you reduce the time in half. Right? So what I do is in many places that I run one task for front end, I run one task for the back end, so it runs simultaneously altogether. So one of the disadvantages is that it only supports web applications. So the company has the Windows applications, like it has to use the graphic application for the Windows, and they have to launch it. Selenium actually doesn't support Windows applications, so you can't really use it. It only support the web application, so you have to use a web browser to use it. So automates at a slower rate because it does not have a native IDE and only third-party IDE can be used for development. So it doesn't have its own application. So you have to use third-party IDE like Eclipse or Visual Studio to actually use Selenium. No official user support is being offered. So because it's open source, there's no support for those. So here are some common actions Selenium. I don't know whether you guys are interested in this. And how many of you know Java? Okay. That's good. Right. So find element. So that means that on the website, if you have HTML, you have to find the object on the web page. So how do you find the object? So either there's a locator. So you can use either ID or name or class name, or if those are not there, then you can use XPath or CSS selector. So you can use those ones to find the element. So once you find the element, then you can actually do something about it. So you can write the text. So for example, if you have a login and password, then you can use the send keys to write your username, the text field, or password in the password field. And clear means you delete the text field. Click means that you click the mouse button. There's a button on the web page. You can find the element and then you can click on it. Text is if you want to retrieve some of the text on the web page, you can use that command on display is the if the element is actually displayed or if it's present on the web page, you can check those as well. So here are some of the code, Selenium code. So everybody knows about Java, right? So I can skip this. So it's divided into 3 parts. So before test, test, after test. So I used framework called TestNG. So TestNG means test next generation. So it allows you to help you to run multiple test cases, or it actually generates a really good test report at the end. So you use annotation like before test, test, after test. So before test, you set up the test. So for example, you want to launch web browser, like the Chrome browser, and you want to maximize it before you actually start testing. So when you do testing, then you actually want to go and then, before that, actually you want to actually go to that website. So newtours.demoaut.com. So we'll actually go to AUT homepage. And then the test is you want to make sure the title of the page is this. So we use assertion command to compare between actual title and expected title. Once that's complete, then it will close this, the browser at the end. So I'm going to show you a demo. So I've already written the same test that Georgia did using Selenium WebDriver. Sorry, the font is really small. Can anybody see this? So I'll explain briefly. So it divides into 3 parts like before. So before test, test, after test. Alright, so first of all, we launch Chrome browser and make sure it's maximized. So I use the implicit wait. So it waits until the element actually appears. And I start testing. So I go to AUT homepage. And then I find the community menu link, the top menu, and then I click on the element. And then once it's clicked, then wait until I see these elements. So this is the what's new menu, sub menu. So we wait until this what's new link appears, and then click, and then I click contact us after that. And then I verify, so make sure that it should be contact us and then get the title page in the contact. And then close it again. So I'm going to run this same. So it opens the Chrome browser. So into AUT homepage, we'll click community, click what's new, and then we'll click contact us. And this page is not found and close. So test case failed. Because I use the TestNG, it produces a nice report. So it says failed, but how do you know where it's failed? Actually, you can check from here. So it's saying the page title should be contact us, but this page is not found. Also, if you double click it, then you will see expected is this and actual is that. Right. Also, it produces very nice web page, HTML format. So if you double click index.html and tells you the AUT website test failed due to those errors. So if you have a multiple test cases, you can run the whole thing and it will generate the test report for you. Does anybody have a question? Yeah.
So just back in the code. In the code.
Yeah, in the code. Yeah.
This like driver that find the element by x by dot xpath. This path. So how do you get that?
Oh. Okay. So this one. So the easiest way to do is there's a plugin in the Firefox called Firebug.
Yeah.
Also, you can install it, so you can see at the bottom here. And there's another plugin called the Firepath. So we actually generate the XPath for you. So easiest way is you click this icon here, and then you can click on anything. So let's see. Let's click on this one. Oops. So it actually highlights what the element is, and then we'll write the XPath for you. So you don't have to worry about how to write the XPath. You can just pick it from there. Right. And you can just copy paste. Any other questions? No? Yes.
What happens if the page gets renamed as part of development, and you've got this test that's looking for contact us, and it's changed to
So
is the test useless, or do you go back? When do you change it? Or
So they should inform us once they change, right? So before sprint or while they're developing it, they should tell us, these element or these title names or text will be changed. So make sure your automation script will accommodate those. Otherwise, your test script will fail, right? And then you realize your script failed, so you have to go back to developers. Why didn't you tell me? So that's why you have to communicate with developers. Make sure you understand what's changed so that you can update your test automation script as well.
so is there a standardization of label names or things like that
So
that
those
tend
should
to
be
get used?
documented and should be the requirement. So if the BAs actually already define those names or IDs or those definitions, then it's easy to develop. If it's not, then it will be very difficult to develop the automation.
So it doesn't matter if they move fields around as long as you can get the
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So as long as the ID or as long as the locator names are same, and it doesn't matter where it moves, we'll find it. Selenium will find where it is and do the action. Does anybody have another question? Yeah.
Can you pass parameters to the test automatic test? Like for example, your test wide AV website test. Can you pass parameter instead of hardcoded the contact us?
Oh, you mean here?
Yeah, you put the expected is equal to contact us instead of hardcoded. Can you pass parameters so that you can?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So you can define it in somewhere else or in the high level or a different class, and then you can set put all the expected values in somewhere, and you can pass the parameters of those. Yes. And there are a lot of different ways that you can do it. So, for example, there's different framework for the data-driven testing. So, if you have to test a lot of data, say, imagine you have to feed like 1,000 personal record in the web page, and you want to test those data, they're all valid. How do you do that? So for example is the user data-driven testing. So what I do at Moneyplace is that we put all the data in an Excel spreadsheet. So you can use CSV, or you can actually use XML or any other data format, or you can get it actually from the database. So you pick up those data from the resource, and then you can actually put it there, and then you can actually look and test every single data. So you can validate those data itself. Yes.
So I just have a question in terms of, say, if you wanted to run, say, the same test with different parameters, but the same sort of instance, say 1,000 times in parallel, wouldn't it be more, or is there like the functionality to just send the request, get the response, and then interpret it like that without having to open the browser for every single instance? You know what I mean? So instead of having 1,000 tabs or 1,000 browsers, you just do the request response.
Yes. So there's different ways of testing it. So what you're saying is send HTTP request and get a response. So you can actually use it using different tools, like a JMeter. You can actually send HTTP request to server, and you get a response, and then you can validate the responded the values. You can do that. But the Selenium, using Selenium is a bit difficult because it's like a wrapper around your browser. So that actually relies on the browser.
I still need the JavaScript.
Yes.
So how do you test like services or even microservices like Docker and stuff like that? You can't do that with Selenium?
Microservices. Can you give me an example?
Oh, well, like any of the Docker services. So where you're breaking it up into components and you're running it in Docker instead of an operating system?
The operating system. So if it's a web application, so if you can access through the browser to that microservices, actually you can test it. So without actually a web browser, you can't actually use Selenium to actually test it.
Okay.
Does anybody have different questions? So I can share this code if you really want to, so you can actually have a look at it and test it. All right. So I'm gonna talk about mobile testing. So mobile testing is getting popular right now because a lot of people are using mobile device to search internet and use applications at the moment. So a lot of companies are developing mobile applications, and then they have to think about how we can test those applications. So while they're actually developing applications, we use some of the automation tools. So I picked something called Appium. So Appium is getting popular at the moment because it supports both iOS and Android as well. And it doesn't really restrict to what kind of mobile device you have. Also, it supports different types of iOS, different versions. The good thing about Appium is that it works like a Selenium. So you can write a similar Java code using TestNG, and you can write first in a similar way, and then you can run you can test the mobile applications. So you can run it in both emulator or the real device. So if you set your mobile Android device to developer's mode, and then if you connect to your computer, then if you use APM, you can actually test on your mobile handset. So APM actually work as the as like a HTTP server between APM and the mobile handset. So we'll communicate between between the IDE, and then we'll talk to the mobile handset. Because I don't have Android phone, so I've installed emulator. And I use the Java. And use Eclipse to run it. So this is Android emulator. So this is Nexus 4, Android version 6.0. And this is APM Windows application. So when you click start button, then it will start as a server. And here's the code. So when you do setup, like you have to write a bit more code on it. So you have to make sure that your code is actually talking to APM. So you pass mobile device parameters like the version of Android and what application do you want to run, and then it will connect to APM server, and then we'll start testing after that. Basically, it will open calculator app within Android, and then we'll start to plug in numbers, 2 plus 5, and then we'll show the results. I have to say this, I just developed this last night and it was not working quite well because I'm using Android emulator, so it will fail. Be aware. So if I run this, and please mind that it's a bit slow, so it take a while. So it's talking to APM. APM is written in Node.js, and it will talk to Android emulator. So beforehand, for mobile testing, Android provided like an automation tool before. So we actually had quite a lot of different automation tools for Android and iOS. Like iOS, you have to use the Apple Mac OS X to actually automate some of the test cases, mobile tests. But after, because APM actually supports both iOS and Android, a lot of companies actually want to use APM for mobile testing at the moment. So just open calculator. Because it's Nexus 4, it's very slow. It's very old device. And it will click some buttons. So it's saying 77, it should be 2 plus 5, but I don't know why it's depressing 7. So there's an issue with the application. And then we will close calculator application. test. I didn't put any assertion, so didn't actually say square will pass, but the end result is 77. So that's how you do mobile automation. So does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
When you're designing your test code, are you trying to keep it as small and simple as possible so you don't actually have to test the test code as well, or can tests get large enough to need testing themselves?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So that relates to maintenance as well. How do you actually maintain your automation code, right? So it's better to modularize your code as well. So there's another framework called Object Model, POM. So we use object-oriented model to actually program the same way. So rather than keeping having large tests, you can separate them up, have different test cases. Also, rather than putting fine element for each command, you can actually have have separate tasks for the elements. So you can make an object for those elements, and you can reuse it when we test it. Any questions? So that's it. Yeah. So my email is up there. So if you have any questions on test automation, please feel free to send an email. Also, with the Twitter account for the maturity as well. So thank you so much. Hand over to Jordan to talk about the next slide.
Just two more slides. If you're interested in testing and you want to learn more, we offer these Assurity testing courses, Testing Jumpstart, Testing Overdrive, and we're developing an Agile testing course and an Agile test automation course. We also have our graduate program, which I went through, which we're still running. There are 2 intakes, and if you want more information, this is where you can go. And you can feel free to ask them any questions as well.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much. It was great to hear the stories about what's happening in the world in terms of testing, and to get a demo of Selenium, which is one of the tools that a lot of people are using in the industry, and to hear about NovaPay, which is actually something that's close to my heart. I have a PhD student who's studying it. Is it possible for us to get some of those copies of the slides?
We can email them to you.
Okay, that would be great. I've also put the link to the graduate program on that announcement on AUS Online if you want to have a look at that. And you've got the offer of 2 industry experts willing to answer your questions. This is a great opportunity. Don't waste it. Okay, so you've got their emails. I'll get their home phone numbers. We know you work late at night, so.
No one has home fun.
That's right. Thank you once again.